Good evening, morning, and afternoon, and welcome to Cross Wrap webinar. This is our first webinar for the year 2021. I am Martta Kivelä, and here with me I have my co-host Kalle Kivelä.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the webinar. It's great to see people from all the continent in this webinar. Thanks for you.
So today we are here to talk about Cross Wrap Dewiring machine and how to increase production, profit and safety with our solution. So a little bit about the agenda of the webinar. We will start off as a bit like a workshop with some warm-up questions about your operations or maybe your coming operations. Then we will do a short recap of the company and the solutions that Cross Wrap offers. Then we will go through some of the case studies, our clients who has chosen Cross Wrap Dewiring. Then we will have a short recap of how to save people, time and money with dewiring. Then if we will have time, we will take some questions in. In your GoToWebinar panel, you can find the question button. Then you can write your questions as we go along the webinar. As said, we will see if we have the time for questions. If not, we will surely contact you afterwards and answer to all questions you may have. Also, this webinar will be available in our YouTube channel as soon as we get it edited a bit. So, without further ado, let's get started. We will close our camera for now, but see you after the show. So, first up, we will do some warm-up questions. If you have a piece of paper and a pen available, please take it and make some notes of your costs and risks of the operation you might be running or working at. So let's get started. First of all, have you calculated the safety hazards at your facility?
As the manual wire cutting, what is the cost of that one and what happens on it? And like then removing the wires, it's the next point to think about it. Or handling the wires, that when those wires are long pieces and works like a spring, that what is that costing for you? Or extra moving vehicles like forklifts or other machines on the area that which might cost always a risk on and costs. Plus the maintenance, that if the machines are stuck or has a problem with the wires and axles or whatever, that what is the cost of those?
All right, that was the question number one. Then question number two, how many operators at the moment you are using for wire cutting, wire removal, coiling, in order to run your process and production efficiently? Also, what is the yearly cost of all of these operators and the machinery required?
that how many operators you have, what is your, how many shifts, that what it will cost to have, and how many machines you have on that operation to on the area of loading the bales to the operation and get the wires out from it.
Then a little bit about the production and its efficiency. So have you noticed that one shift makes more production than others? Is there machinery breaking down during nights or weekends? Also, what is the motivation or satisfaction level towards manual dewiring? Is that work truly profitable and efficient?
Yeah, if you think about it, like in a picture, you have two guys, other one cutting, other one collecting the wires, and it's that kind of work that your staff can do 24/7 and efficiently to feed the production.
And then a little bit about what happens after feeding the your line. So how much was or will be the total investment of your process? Meaning if you have a sorting line, if you have a washing line or other processes, how much is the full capacity you reach today? And then for what reason you might not reach your target or the full capacity of the line you have? And could you earn more and make more profit with higher efficiency?
It's a good question. Like if you look this line, that if you and you're thinking about what is the full capacity, meaning that what you get out from the line, that what is the efficiency, that do you get the feeding constant, do you get the material in, that you can get everything out from your investment for this automated sorting, extruder, whatever line. Because in many cases some people use this kind of tools. We don't call this automatic, but it's used even in front of this kind of lines to take the wires out. Or in some cases there's a little bit more advanced systems, as we have seen, that you have a flywheel with the innovated longer part, that you can use that as a cutting the wires, that you don't have to do that manually. But still, have you think about it, that what is the cost of those tools to feed this kind of automated system?
Yeah, so truly that do these two investments of the line and the equipment to feed the line match, because your process is just as efficient as the feeding of the process is.
That's right, Mark. That's good point.
All right, those were the warm-up questions. Now we will go to the second part of the presentation. We will do a brief summary about Cross Wrap as a company and its solutions. So Cross Wrap has the experience for almost 30 years from the waste and recycling industry. We are located in Siilijärvi, Finland, and we manufacture and sell the machinery for wrapping, packing, dewiring, and bale opening solutions. We have the machinery in over 60 countries and over 600 deliveries. Our aims and missions are to provide profit to our customers with automatically operated solutions. We always want to aim for production efficiency and low operating costs with our solutions. In all of our solutions, as well as in our internal processes, we want to ensure safe and secure working environment. Briefly said, we want to add value with sustainable innovations.
So what we have done now so far, that we are a global operator, and actually, as I said in the beginning, it's really good to see, or not to see, but that there's people from all the continent following up this, and we are happy for that, to be able to show what we can do for you. Here's one example for before going for the day's program. We are talking about our other products. Is example the bale wrapping for plastic industry, that when we are talking about reject, that we are able to wrap those in a square bales and have them more compact. They will be easy to stock, transport, deliver, and use it for energy or wherever it goes, that it's to make a less impact for the environment and being a part of the sustainability business on having our own effort for that. The machines, what we do is the bale wrappers for bales which are already tied. Then we have another type of wrapper, which is the bales which are not tied. We can wrap them direct without ties. We do wrappers for industrial boards, all kind of those wood-based boards. And then we have been doing bale openers, and this bale opener is based to be the well, we can say that it's a granddad now for the dewiring system. That if we go for the dewiring, it's that we started the dewiring actually in 2000 on when our customer did tell us that your system is no good if you can't open up and dewire or defilm those bales, and that's where our development did start. So we did deliver the first dewiring system, which is same time taking the films out from the bale already 2000, and ever since we have been working on that and developing that further as our customers asked us to do that only for dewiring the bales. Okay, it was easy for us to go for that because we did have film. The film was not there anymore. It was only the ties we take out, but that has been good learning curve for us since 2015. We have been doing this type of dewirings, which can do both or only other way around, meaning that we do those for paper recycling, biomass, alternative fuels, and plastic, of course. And today we are a leader on a plastic business for dewiring the bales. We have already units running in 4 continents, 60 machines sold, and more experience on that area than anybody else. Okay, here we have the basic dewiring system, and okay, there's a sign for, like last year we were awarded as a finalist on plastic recycling on our area, meaning that we are very proud that even all the plastic recycling has recognized us as a main supplier for dewiring systems.
All right, Perfect. That was in brief our solutions and the company. Now we go into the customer stories. So dewiring for professionals. First, we will see a video of our Italian customer. This customer is Matucci from Gallese. Quindi questa installazione noi abbiamo fatto 3 anni fa. Okay, maybe we take this still in so this is the installation we did 3 years ago, delivered to Italy. Here we are opening mixed plastic bales. So as you see, the system works so we run in the bale. Once the bale comes to the dewiring unit, we have the rippers coming from both sides. Then we cut from the front. When we have cut from the front, the material goes forward. After we let go from the other side, the wires pull to the other side, and to the coiling unit, the wires go. At the same time, when we start to coil the wires, after that, the cutting blade goes back to the home position. The beauty of that movement is also, as we can see now, the blade is turning other side, other direction. So it cleans the cutting blade as well. After we have made a nice roll of the wires, we are ready to take in the next bale. The capacity of the machine is 1 bale per minute, but for example, in this example, we are running a bit lower capacity because of the customer's capacity. Here we can also see how the material is loose after these conveyors, after the dewiring.
That was a great invention of the customer doing that.
Yes, this was exactly of the customer doing. One nice detail about this Matucci was that we supplied only the main machine, the dewiring machine, and in this case, the customer wanted to supply his own conveyors to feed the machine as well as output the machine.
Should you send some regards for Italians in their own language?
Sì, certo. Anche se vogliamo parlare italiano, su progetti in Italia sono responsabile per Mercato d'Italia, quindi possiamo fare negozio in italiano anche.
Grazie, Martta.
Prego. And then we go to our second customer story of tonight. Since the first customer had 1 machine, the second customer has 2 machines. This is a plant, Indorama Velman plant in France. Indeed, they bought 2 machines for their plant, and better than me explaining, let's have a look at the video. All right, so Velman Indorama France, opening up bed bales. same machine dewiring 1400. One nice additional detail of these machines are that the units, the dewiring units, are equipped with scale as well. So we can control the tonnage capacity as well and know how many tons we open per hour, per shift, and per week if we want so. Basic idea of the machinery is of course the same. So bale comes in, grippers come, cut, separate and coil. Would you have anything add to that, Kalle?
Yeah, well, as Indorama has been happy for those that they have already a third one and fourth one is waiting for to be startup.
Yes, indeed, that is true. So in this case study, they have at one plant 2 machines, but in total there are 4 machines.
Proud to be supplier for them.
Yes, indeed.
Sure, with automated. If you stop there, that if you have a look of the picture of the bale on a conveyor, that just shows that, I mean, that kind of bale is fine. I mean, there's many times the questions of that, what kind of bales we can dewire, but example, that bale, no problem. I mean, we have our system is checking that automatically and dewiring that automatically. That's fine.
Indeed.
All right, here we have a Carbon Light from US. They have actually Carbon Light has already third machine started up for them. Oh, okay. Carbon Light has already 3 machines delivered and in their 3 sites. Here we have a site in California where bales are dewired automatically. Here, what is difference here is that we have a door which is closing before we dewire the bale, because those bales are very high dense. They could have up to 20 wires each bale, but those are not the problem for us. That the machine works fine even we have up to 20 wires on one bale. And of course, when you have a very high pressure bales and then you have a lot of wires on those, the pressure is high on the bale too, that they will expand and shoot the bottles out. That's why there's a back door, that you don't have the wires all over. But the idea is the same, that we grab the wires, we cut the wires, and then we pull them out the same way as we do with all dewiring systems and bale openers. Basically, the bale opener is the same unit, has just 2 cutting units in the front for the films, if there's a films on the bale. There you see that in one place there could be 3-4 wires, as in this case you see that there's more than 1 wire in each place, and the coiling works well, as you see that example, those wires which are galvanized, that they are pretty much stronger and heavier than if we have only 5 black wires, but the same system works with all of them. And proud to say that we have learned to do the dewiring, whatever the bales are. Here you have the result of dewiring on that case.
All right, there was our 3 customer stories of today. If you have any further questions of these operations or of yours, please write them down, so we will answer to you later today or after, when we will contact you. Then going to our fourth topic, saving people, time and money. So as we already opened up our brains to the safety hazards that might occur in your facilities, just a short recap of that. As we know, the plastic industry has been developing highly during the past few years. Big part of the plastic recycling and the basis of plastic recycling is sustainability. We have to remember 1/3 pillar of sustainability is social responsibility. Social responsibility meaning taking care of our employees as well. So no more dangerous wire cutting, no more accidents. Let's feed our bales in an efficient and safe way.
Meaning that do the whole process automatic, that there's no point to use the scissors in the beginning, that if the whole process could be automated and make safe, make more production and more profit.
Yes, indeed.
Time means that well, there's only 24 hours per day, and the investment should be paid as you have calculated in the first place. And we have heard that there's always a question that can you reach the target and can you make the production? Is that production going night and day? Same, that you don't lose production night or weekends. By automated dewiring system, as what we have done, you get the machine itself, it's measuring the bale, it's checking the density of the bale, it takes care of the wires, if there's 2 wires, 1 wire or 3 wires in one place, you can have, if there's 5 in total bales or if there's 20 in total bale, we can still dewire the bales automatically and save your time on doing it. We have 2 models for doing it, that most of those DVG 1800 has been sold for North America, and the European bales are usually a little bit smaller and softer. The US bales are harder in many cases, but we have an experience to do all of them. Why we are able to do those is that thanks to that our own software department, which is working only for you. I mean, we work only for recycling business, and we work only for this few machines we are doing, and beauty is that we do work for different kind of bale materials, but that helps for every single customer, that we have come up with the program and software that the brains is working on bales to understand what is coming and what has to be worked with those. So, and there is all kind of availabilities for options. We can control how much you fill in. We can control what is every shift doing. Is there a material feeded right? Is there all the time material coming, or if it's some reason the process doesn't take the bales? All that kind of things are available on our software to pick up the information, and of course pick up the information that how our machine is operating and what is the pressure of different places and so on. That, and it will tell you about the service, and we can service you remotely. We have been doing that for all our machines since 2013 globally.
Yes, and not only the service remotely, that we can do all upgrades through the remote access device for you, but also you can have the data of the production daily, hourly, and so on. So not only is the dewiring the world leading dewiring, but it is the smartest for sure.
That's the right way to say it. Here's an example from weighing system, as Martta was saying, that like Indorama has the scale on those machines, and that's, I think it's getting pretty much as a standard in a business that, you know, you have to, is that right, that, you know, most of the machines we are delivering today with the scales, because people like to control what is the weight of the bales, what is the infeeding, and they like to know what's going in and what's happening, and that's one nice feature what we have for the machines.
For sure, that is something that is going as a standard, and because of course the material is being weight is measured once it's coming to the facility, but the real capacity can only be weighed when feeding the material.
Yep. Here is an example from basic dewire bale opening unit, where we have that what is the main unit for it, and then we can look a little bit different layouts, what is available and what could be done. But as you can see, our footprint is really squeezed, and the system it fits nicely into the process plants. Here's an example from one customer where the bales are feeded with chain conveyor, existing one, and then it goes to the dewiring. Okay, there's a stairs going to the other side and upstairs, but then there's a conveyor for the coiling, the coils, that there's no pin underneath, that it goes for bigger pin, so it takes the coils to the side. And actually in this one there's even metal detector after the dewiring system, that sometimes customers like to check the material, that, you know, that you don't get the big metal particles in your bales to the process, and that they can avoid that, and that's the checkpoint there in this case. Okay, here we have other type of installation. This was retrofit on a plant where there's a conveyor in the front of it's pretty high, but it's because it goes to the process very high there too. There's a conveyor, and then there's a drum screen, and actually we can show you a video out from example from this side, that how this one works. Okay, this is called bale opener, but actually it's the same machine, just having two extra cutters in the front. Beauty of that one is that you can use here just wired bales, or you can take the wrapped bales to this one, because the coiling is the same, cutting is the same, and so on. But in this one they use, these are bales shipped from UK to Greece, where this material is used as a fuel in a cement plant. We cut the films from the top and the bottom before it goes into with the grippers, and then when the bale is cut from the front, same cutter there than for the wires. And now actually it's waiting for the drum that we have a sensor there which is reading that when we are allowed to run the material in again. And now the material drops to that small conveyor, you saw it. And in the same time, we will take the ties and a film out with the same coiling unit. So the ties and cover film will be taken out and only the material will go to the process. That's one application more for dewiring, that if the bales are filmed before process. Here you see the conveyor taking the materials to the drum screen. Oh, here's the drum screen showing that one. Okay, that was one application that we serve plastic industry, but we serve quite many other industries with the same machinery, which actually benefits all of our customers on dewiring, that we have the knowledge and experience on doing all kind of different bales.
Indeed. All right. I will. Oh no, you will take still this one. Go ahead, Kalle.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I will have the two last ones.
All right. Well, here we have a roof on it. We have made a few machines outdoors, and actually this one is really high up, but they are still feeding that with a forklift. But the reason of their production, that's why it's so high up. It's a Swiss plant, and the roof helps that in weather conditions, but it's the same unit again to dewire the bales.
And of this, you can find a really nice video if you go to our YouTube channel. There is the plant manager or director, sorry, to tell his comments why he purchased the machine in the first place and why. So,
and what was the name of the company?
Polu Recycling.
All right, yes. If you look the Polu Recycling reference from our web page, you can find this machine in operation.
All right, now I will jump in. I was a bit too enthusiastic there. Okay, this is one of my latest sales to Northern America. Here we can see a installation where we have provided a feeding conveyor, then the dewiring unit itself. Then we have that little conveyor going to the left, if we see from the direction of the material coming in, for the wires. In this case, this conveyor goes through the wall and will put the wires directly outside to a container. And then we have a 90 degrees angle for the dispatch conveyor taking the material to the process.
Yeah, in this case, it goes to the shredder and then to the process.
Yes, exactly.
The beauty of the system is that this outside container is like a hookup container for the trucks. That actually, when they are loading the bales on that feeding conveyor, the wires disappear automatically outside, and they will be in a big container which can easily move and take it out. That it doesn't need that manual operation.
Indeed. And now when you mentioned the shredder, we could briefly comment few things on that, because we got few questions about putting the bales to a shredder or then having a dewiring. So for example, in this case, there was a shredder where they did put directly the bales with the wires. And Kalle, would you comment what was the experience of that?
No, actually, I visited on site before they bought the machine, and actually they did have a dewiring. When they bought the whole line, they bought the dewiring system, which was not there anymore because that didn't work. But anyway, now the problem was that the shredder needs quite a lot of maintenance when you drop a bales with the wires in it. And the maintenance problem is that you have those wires around the axles and the downtime that you can't run the production, that it slows down the production when there's a lot of maintenance on it. Plus it costs a lot, and plus when you drop the total bale in a shredder, first you get fines and then you will start getting the materials you like to, but that's no good for the further process when the material is not all the time as like to.
Yeah, that was nicely summarized. So here we can see a 3D basically on the dewiring unit itself. So in all our cases, we are happy to provide the feeding conveyor and the output conveyor, but in some cases the customers are willing to put or want to put their own feeding conveyors and output conveyors, or if the dewiring machine is retrofitted, that we can work with the existing conveyors as well. Maybe a few things always of the layout is that as seen from these examples, the height can be always personalized to your site. We can do all bale sizes in European market with the model to 1400.
Ask up to the customer what is your demand, that we do know the bales, for example. Well, for your example, that we are very familiar with the different balers. We will come out of the question soon, and you can answer that in an internet in that we have how many different baler brand we know, and we have put the wrapper behind it. That's amazing number. But if we are talking about the model of the balers, that's over 100.
Yes, indeed. So we know the balers, and that's why we can open all the bales. Then last but not least, we go into money.
The cost of the dewiring system to run, I mean, it takes about 25 kilowatts per hour in running when it's running, and if we do 40 bales per hour, that will be only 1.6 kilowatts or whatever around that. And then the maintenance per bale is really low, that because thanks for the smart system we have on not using the too much power, we just take the power what is needed, just cut, take the wires out, coil them, drop them off, and material follows further on. That if you think that that's all the cost what you need for running that automatically, it really pays off.
Yes, indeed. Then thinking about the payback of the machinery, we are happy to calculate this with you according to your process and production, but these are just some numbers that I've taken from the industry. So if we think about having one operator per shift for the bale dewiring process, and then for 24 hours running operation, we then need to have minimum of 4 operators per day, and so total of 4 operators. If we calculate, this goes more or less with the US or North American and European costs of, if we calculate with 45,000 euros per year.
But of course, you know better your cost than we do. This is just the average number what we.
Yes, indeed. As said, this is just to give you an idea, and we can make a personalized calculation together afterwards. But if it would be somewhere around that, the payback of the dewiring machine will be within 2 years. Not to even calculate the cost of injuries and accidents.
If you think about that, I don't know, I'm hoping that you have not had any accidents on that dewiring process, but unfortunately we have been informed from some people and some companies that there is accidents in, and they say that that's most dangerous work in a whole plant is to dewire the bales. And well, if there's 2 accidents per year, it's 80,000. If it's 3, it's 120,000 per year. And well, it can't. Sometimes it's really costly, but it's not calculated that way. But if you take all the costs, then the dewiring, automated cross wrap dewiring makes sense. Like if you have a high output, like you need to do a little bit more bales. I guess that it means 2 people in a shift, seeing some of them that you're having even 3 people in a shift. Sometimes the third one is not calculated to be working in a dewiring system, in dewiring area, but it just seems to be that the forklift driver is for it. Like that's like saving 1 forklift. Claiming there is that we have seen in our case that we can drop down to 2 forklifts for 1, like seeing a plant which run 24/7, and they do run now 1 forklift on unloading the trucks and loading the dewiring system, and it's 1 person. That it's you know, if you calculate it all those together, payback is it's fast. And of course, if we are talking about the lost production, that's we can't calculate that, but you can do that yourself, the calculation that how much 1 hour cost for you when your high investment line is staying still by the maintenance, or because wires are around some axles or somewhere in the system, or you don't have anybody to feed the bales in because dewiring is stopped some reason, that manual operation.
Yes, indeed, good points, Kalle. But then we made it in 47 minutes. I'm so proud of us. So I think we have some time for questions. I will put our camera on.
Here we have a question. Do you have experience with RDF? We want to use RDF a mobile unwrapping device? Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible. We have experience on RDF with wrapped or unwrapped. We can dewire both bales, and our dewiring system can be made mobile. That's no problem. We have that kind of systems running in was it in Sweden?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. Like
Yeah.
if we are talking about, was the question for wrapping?
Or
unwrapping, like a bale opening.
Unwrapping, okay.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, we do have that kind of when it's system is available.
And happy to provide more information for that. And interesting to hear for us is that what kind of mobility you are looking for of that machine, if it's moving inside of the plant or if you want it totally mobile, moving from plant to other.
Very good. There was a follow-up question regarding the same topic, that is there a risk of inflammation of material during unwrapping, like a risk of fires?
Yes, that is a good question, and we do get that is some question that we get it quite often from the customers. But since we work in the paper industry and we work in the alternative fuel industry, opening the alternative fuels such as RDF and SRF and municipal solid waste, which can include a lot of different kind of items. Indeed, there is no fire risk because the blade that we use for cutting, that is a slow rotating cutting blade, meaning that the risk of fire is non-existent. And also, well, this was one thing that went to our latest installation to the paper industry from the request of the customer. We
control the heat of the cutting device, the blade, that it's controlled, that if it will heat up, it will inform that it will slow down or stop for a while. But we have never had a problem with that cutting device on that.
Yeah, and we have the machinery running in Italy, in Argentina, in high temperature countries for sure.
Then about the straps, is the machine working with like a plastic straps, the dewiring machine?
Yeah, it works with both. Of course, if the percentage of the wire with plastic straps, taking them out, the percentage is not high as in with the metal wires, but yes, they run through, yes, and we can open up the dewire the base.
Very good. And then there was a question in some of the videos. There was an operator next to the machine. That what are the tasks of the operator?
Yes, that's a good question. In the videos that we have, there is actually our engineer next to the machine doing some programming. As you can find the same videos from our YouTube channel, and if you look closely, he is with in one video he's with his mobile phone, and in other he has his laptop with him. So he's actually monitoring the machine from his cell phone, and in the other one from his laptop. So actually the only thing that we need from the operator is to feed the bales to the feeding conveyor, and well, then
yeah, the videos, they are authentic, that they are not, let's say, made commercially that way, but because they are from our startups. because most of the customers, they don't let us in, but they let us to take the videos during the startups, and we are allowed to show the videos. But then when they are operating and in operation, we usually don't go there. Well, there's no need to go there, but that's how it is, that they are not for operating the machine.
Okay. There are still some questions here, but we are also starting to run out of time. So
yes, indeed. So thank you, J.P., for the help, for the technical help. So I think that is all for today. We have a minute to go. So we thank you for being with us. We look forward to develop projects with you and keep you safe with the Cross Wrap Dewiring, increasing production and profit. Right, Kalle?
Kiitos munkin puolesta. Oli oikein mukavaa, että pääsitte kaikki tulemaan tähän meidän webinaariin. Ja Martta voi kertoa tämän sitten muutamalla muullakin kielellä. Martta.
Yes, I can say in other languages as well. Quindi possiamo anche parlare italiano. También podemos hacer todas las presentaciones en español. And we have also native Russian speaker in our sales team to serve you in Russian language.
I'm limited on that, but I can say хорошо.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a safety day and be careful out there. Thank you.